Welcome everyone to eAuditor presentation. My name is Natalia and on BTC side I'm pleased to host this presentation. Today I will discuss system architecture, advantages of the system, and also I will give you a taste of the admin console. What you see on the screen is the architecture of eAuditor system. I would like to cover not only the architecture itself, but also how the system is implemented in the customer's infrastructure in on-premise model. eAuditor is the system that works in client-server architecture. We start the system implementation by defining business requirements and setting a sample monitoring configuration. Then we help to deploy the software on monitored computers or servers, for example using Active Directory or the system itself, and we optimize its operation. Before this happens, on the server named eAuditor server, we install software that is web server, which is responsible for web-based and responsive console, SQL Server, database of the system, which is compatible with any version of SQL Server, and eServer, which is the heart of the system. eServer is responsible for communication with the client software eAgent, which is installed on monitored computers. eAgent application works as a service, and its task is to provide the system with the data that has been defined by the administrator during configuration. eAgent's work is invisible to the user. We can define any number of configurations that can be sent to eAgent. However, it is worth noting that the more configurations we define, the more difficult it becomes to manage the system. After receiving the configuration, eAgent updates its internal policies, providing new data to the system. The configuration allows for a lot. We can, for example, scan system registries, scan hard drives, monitor web pages, monitor users' activities, collect information about printed documents, manage connected USB devices or phones, and much more. Scan results are collected into packets and sent to eServer. The communication server saves the packets on disk and then uploads them to database. For the system, it does not matter whether the computers are located in the customer's internal network, in another branch of the organization and connect via VPN, or, for example, have been given to employees to work remotely and connect from any network. Each of the computers will be correctly monitored according to the defined schedule. Talking about the architecture, it is worth to notice the elements that are located in data center, and these are Update Server and Machine Learning Server. Update Server is responsible for releasing updates on average every 30 days. Downloaded updates are checked by the system for possible errors, and after verification, the update process of the system components starts. If there is a need to update components of eAgent application, it is sent directly from the customer's server, so the monitored computers do not connect directly to Update Server in data center. Another element of the system is Machine Learning Server, which provides the possibility of using artificial intelligence implemented in the system. Artificial intelligence is used, among other things, to classify processes, classify web pages, and to examine if given pages are safe. We perform the test by analyzing the structure of websites, analyzing their categories, checking if website contains SSL certificate, checking if websites contain redirects. And we test if the language used on the website is safe. We also check if the website is gambling. All categorization processes are performed in data center, which allows machine learning to be used without overloading customers' infrastructure. Only synthetic data needed to perform these processes is sent to machine learning server. BTC is eAuditor system developer, which allows customization and integration of the system according to the needs of each customer. By default, the system integrates using API with AI server and other BTC systems and other technologies. The connection with AI server allows real-time classification of websites, images, and processes using artificial intelligence. It is worth noting that we are the first in the field of this type of system. The system is integrated with our other products: High-Provision DLP, eHelpDesk, Roto Protector, and Learning Management System. This provides you with a comprehensive solution which allows you to manage any area of IT infrastructure using systems from a single vendor. This includes data protection, management of data in line with GDPR, or handling tickets by technical support. The integration is based on API provided by BTC. Therefore, as the system developer, we can integrate with any software, for example, Intel technology, remote connections, virtual environments, and Microsoft Active Directory. Therefore, it is possible to import data such as users, structures, computers, or IT admin rights from many Active Directories. Before we move to Admin Console, I would like to bring your attention to the selected system advantages, which are web-based and responsive console, the ability to run the system on any device, computer, tablet, phone, on any web browser, low requirements, a guarantee of high system stability. IT administrator manages IT infrastructure from a fully functional web-based administration console. The console allows for data editing, modification, deletion, and analysis, as well as high-performance reporting. BTC is the first company in Poland to use a web-based solution in system for IT infrastructure management and security. Automatic updates. You can forget about having to update your system. With eAuditor, everything is automatic. Our customers especially appreciate the mechanism of automatic system updates, proven, secure, and highly effective. Every month, each customer receives a new update of the system without having to support the process. With this solution, IT administrator does not have to spend time downloading and installing updates and patches. This gives confidence and a guarantee that the system is up to date and always in the latest version. Comprehensive IT management, professional IT, and data security management. The scope of the system covers such areas as IT inventory, virtual environment inventory, software management, user management, remote computer management, IT repository, IT warehouse, network monitoring, LAN maps, message server, communicator, technical support system, help desk, security dashboard, remote BitLocker hard drive encryption, monitoring of computers, networks, software and users, machine learning. Full support in installation, configuration, and customization of the system. We always adjust the system configuration to the customer's infrastructure. Configuration is required during system installation. Each installation means different condition of system operation. We always support the customer in the proper selection of parameters, advice and profile. We monitor the work of the system for several months to get the best results. Handling complex organizational structures. eAuditor enables efficient support for entities with a complex organizational structure and capital groups, including granting hierarchical access rights to structures and views. Organizational structure of the system can be synchronized with Microsoft Active Directory on demand or according to a defined schedule. The level of authorization is defined per group and user: read, add, delete, modify, export to all views or selected elements of the organizational structure and specific reports. Advanced and efficient reporting. System has over 217 predefined reports. You can run reports from every view and export data to any format. The system has been integrated with high-performance reports from SAP Business Objects, Crystal Reports, and StimulSoft. A built-in report designer enables modification of built-in reports and creation of new ones. Automatically generated reports can be saved in any location or sent by email. Right, it is high time to move to the admin console to fully appreciate the advantages of our system. The console of eAuditor system is where we manage IT infrastructure. We are on the Start page of the system under the News tab, where we can find past webinars, data handouts, and list of upcoming events. Let me start on the Dashboard tab, which organizes data collected by eAgent in a graphical way. The same data is also available on the side menu in the form of tables. The system uses a drill-down method, which means that we can reach the same source data from many places in the system. There are about 150 widgets in the system. They are organized in blocks and present data in a convenient way. Widgets are interactive and we can organize them freely on the dashboard, display one or exclude data that we are not interested in. For example, on the main dashboard, we can see data about eAgent's connection to the server broken down by time intervals, data about the number of computers online and offline, the versions of eAgent installed on the computers, operating systems installed on computers. On the other hand, clicking on a widget field gives us data in tabular order. Here we can quickly get a report in one of many formats or select one of the report templates. From this view, thanks to the drill-down method, we can immediately jump to the information about a specific computer by clicking on its name and showing the Device Detail tab. Above the widgets, we see tabs that organize data thematically. We can view data about users, hardware, software, or performance. The presentation of data on IT infrastructure security on the Security dashboard looks similar. Additionally, we can display data in a specific time period or for a specific business unit, defined at the stage of system configuration, of course with the possibility of editing. Tabs are also available here, organizing widgets in a thematic way. What kind of data is available? For example, information about computers that operating systems are no longer supported, information about computers on which eAgent has not been installed, information about computers not encrypted with BitLocker, information on expired subscriptions, information about new devices on the network detected during scanning. Security dashboard widgets are also interactive. Clicking on it gives us a list of computers that need administrators' attention. From this view, we can also export a quick report in one on several formats or use a template. From here, we can also go to the Device Detail tab. While working with eAuditor, we are supported by filters. All data in the system is presented in a tabular order. Each column representing a specific parameter allows filtering. Filtering is possible by typing a selected request in the column header. Using any filter will change the color of the funnel placed above the table. Clicking on the icon will show all used column filters. From this level, the applied filters can be removed or new parameters can be entered. Filters used in combination for each column of the table are not mutually exclusive. For example, you can filter data by a specific text at the same time as filtering by numbers. By default, each table in eAuditor contains over a dozen columns of data. You can customize each table by adding or removing a selected column in the View filter. You can also decide on the order of columns or add your own by naming them and defining the column type. After approval, we will get the view with the selected columns. The Global Filter option allows you to filter computers using predefined fixed filters. To add a new global filter, click on the plus icon on the filter widget. Describe the filter with the name. Select and check the parameter you want to create the filter based on. Use the plus icon to add selected items. Confirm the selection. Defining a new filter will add its icon to the widget. When this icon is selected, only the computers defined in the filter will appear in the system views. Let's go back to the Computers tab, where you will find all devices with eAgent installed. Data is mainly retrieved from WMI classes and from registries. That brings elements that can be seen in the table, including information about the operating system, the IP of the device itself, and logged users. By selecting Computer's name, you can go to the Details tab, where you can find the information about this specific unit. For example, information related to the operating system, or a widget informing about remaining hard drive storage capacity or RAM usage. Below, there is information about connected and recognized monitors and connected USB devices such as pen drives or smartphones. The side menu of the Detail tab will show information about CPU, BIOS, hard drive storage capacity, or smart parameters that you can set up alerts for. The top menu organizes all monitoring data, as well as those resulting from scanning for one specific computer. However, it is worth keeping in mind that all data will also be available globally for all other devices with eAgent installed. Let's pay attention to the Changes tab. Here we can verify any change that has been occurred in connection with a given device, such as a change of the user, change of IP, and connection of a new monitor. In the Monitoring tab, we will find all the monitorings related to this specific computer. However, I'm going to focus on the operating time only. After specifying the time scope, we can verify when the computer was running and if anyone was logged on. This is marked green. When computer was running but nobody was logged on, this is marked blue. And every moment when computer was in sleep mode, this is marked yellow. Let's go back to the view showing all computers. The system allows remote connection to these devices using 4 implemented tools: RDP, VNC, RTC, and Intel vPro. Each one will be used for different reasons. Today, let's focus on Webrtc, which is the most extended tool. eAuditor system allows direct access to a remote desktop. Terminal, making it possible to run CMD and PowerShell commands. And files, without interfering with the session of the currently logged user. A huge advantage of this solution is that it works outside of the local network without the need for VPN. Let's move to the Devices tab, where under the List item, you will find all devices in IT infrastructure, not just those with eAgent installed. This tab allows you to keep a record of all devices added manually or imported from an external source. In addition to the predefined device types, IT admin can define his own. In the Hard Drives tab, we find a record of the hard drives on devices with eAgent installed. They are divided into system and non-system drives. On this view, we can find detailed information about the hard drive storage capacity, file storage system, or drive type. The main functionality available from this level is the ability to remotely and mass encrypt hard drives using BitLocker. There are 4 security methods and 3 types of encryption available in the system. The encryption process is fully secured and the decryption key is available to IT admin under the command line. Under the USB tab, we can find a record of all USB devices that have been connected to computers with eAgent installed, including information about the device name and device ID. From this level, we can create a wide list of all USB devices authorized by IT admin. In columns, we can see information about when USB device was last used, on which computer, and by whom. Network Scanner is a functionality that allows IT admin to scan specific IP scopes, so we get information about all detected devices. The columns contain information on whether the device has eAgent installed, whether it is in the device inventory, whether the SNMP protocol was scanned, detected IP addresses, or ports that were scanned. This functionality also allows you to monitor ports and the services assigned to them, with the ability to set up alerts. A great advantage of eAuditor system is the fact that it creates network maps automatically. IT admin can use predefined models, but also can create his own. The network map graphically presents all connections between devices in the network. At this stage, we can also verify all devices where a problem with a selected service may have occurred. This view presents all information in relation to a specific device. The system allows you to keep a record of software installed on devices with eAgent, with the ability to verify the devices on which the software was installed and the number of licenses entered. With the use of an extensive database of patterns, the system provides information on the version and the software developer. eAgent, running as a service on devices, allows you to monitor them in a wide scope. On the Monitoring Server tab, you will find, among other things, the ability to monitor event logs. All errors, warnings, and information will be available here. Monitoring scope is set up by IT admin. A very important element of IT infrastructure management is also monitoring device performance. From this level, we can verify almost in real time the performance of CPU, hard drive usage, RAM, network load, or running processes. In case of lack of connection with the server, past data will appear in the system after the connection is restored by eAgent. The Monitoring Server tab contains detailed information about all the situations in which a USB device was used. Information about the computer, user, device name, whether the device was authorized or not, and date and time of connection. We will also be able to monitor web servers based on specific URLs with the possibility of setting up the interval at which websites will be checked. In the columns, you will find information about the activity of the sites in the last 3, 6, or 12 months. I have presented only a part of the monitorings, but it is worth keeping in mind that the system can monitor many more activities, for example printing. From this level, detailed information will be available about the printed documents, the printer used, the number of printed pages, and the date of printing. Task Server is a very useful feature for remote IT management. It allows for remote and mass run of CMD or PowerShell commands. In the system, we can find over 90 predefined tasks with the possibility of defining your own. Tasks can be run on a group of devices or selected computers in a fixed schedule. The fact whether the command has been executed correctly or if there is any problem can be verified in the Logs tab. Each of presented views can be reported. In the upper left corner of the table, there is a printer icon, from which we can access the reports. It is worth knowing that there are more than 200 reports available in the system. Reports have been divided into categories. They can be generated once or in a set schedule. We went a bit deeper into only a few functionalities that are available in the system. Let me just quickly walk you through another ones. Virtualization. The system integrates with Hyper-V and WMR virtualization environments. Thanks to this, in the Virtualization tab, we can manage all virtual machines without the agent installed, scanning only the servers on which they run. It is worth knowing that the Device tab also allows, among other things, to inventory the devices in the organization using the barcodes available in the system. In case of software, it is also possible to monitor the processes launched and the time of activity in a given application by a given user. In the Users tab, you will find a set of information about users imported or added to the system manually. An interesting option is the monitoring of users' productivity. Files and Multimedia tab allows you to verify the files located on users' devices, ranging from the name through the extension to the location of the file itself. Warehouse and Finance are accounting tabs that allow you to keep a record of costs spent and supplies purchased. Message Server allows IT admin to communicate with the users. You will find there the possibility of sending regular messages and alerts. Data Loss Protection. In this tab, you will find functionalities allowing to build software schemes which can be used to perform an automatic uninstallation of software or to set alerts on unwanted installations or deinstallations of software. Let me briefly introduce you to the admin rights. If you go to Settings, Admin tab, it allows you to grant specific rights to each user in the system or assign users to previously created group of rights. By selecting a group or username, you grant read, write, delete, or export rights. These rights are granted to each of visible system tabs, for example, computers or networks, selected reports, and previously created structures. Thank you for your attention and your time. If you'd like to know more about the eAuditor system and request a live demo, please send an email to info@btc.com.pl.